Greetings, everyone. We all are aware of the decision of the South African cabinet last week that the Zimbabwe exemption permits are not going to be renewed. There are two processes that are underway at the moment. We do not know what the outcome of these two processes would be. The first process that is underway is administrative. Administrative in that we need to work within the decision of the South African cabinet to see how this announcement can be implemented. The Zimbabwe community in South Africa is therefore taking a lead on behalf of Zimbabweans in the first process on the implementation of the South African cabinet decision. The second process that is underway is being led by the Zimbabwe Communist Party, because the renewal of the permits or the granting of these permits in 2010 was a political decision. So there's a political process that is underway, which we will not elaborate here at this stage on how this political process is developing. At this stage, it's too early to say what is likely to happen with the political process. So in this video, we will only confine ourselves to the administrative process so that we clarify certain issues on what the Zimbabwe community is doing in ensuring that we respect and implement the decision of the South African cabinet. I am Ngabuto Nicholas Mapena, chairman of the Zimbabwe community in South Africa. Please like the video, subscribe, write your comments. Your comments are critical in that they inform us on what we should do or what issues we should raise. So the administrative purpose or the administrative process in the implementation of the South African cabinet decision on the non-renewal of the ZEP and on the 12-month grace period, we have thus written to the Director General of Home Affairs to give clarity to a number of issues. As I speak on this video, a number of you have received letters or SMS messages, mainly from Capitec Bank and the other financial institutions, asking you or the clients who are holders of ZEP to submit before the 31st of December 2021 proof that they've applied to renew the ZEP. Failure to that, the banks are going to close down the bank accounts, which will then create a crisis. We have asked the Director General to give clarity, which he has promised to do, to give clarity on the rights of ZEP holders under the 12-month period. There's also a circular that is circulating on social media that is said to be coming from the Director General himself, which also speaks to issues around proof that by the 31st of December, one should have varnished the banks with the proof of application. Assuming that circular is correct, it will not be possible for people to prove to any financial institution by 31st December that they have submitted their application for the following reasons. One, we advised in the previous video that at this stage, there is no link in the VFS website for anyone to make any submission if they qualify to move to other visas. Today is the 3rd of December 2021. If I don't mix up dates, let me double check because the time, yes, is the 3rd of December, 2021. So if up to this time, there is no link in the website of the VFS for those that qualify to submit their applications, it is going to be impossible for people to have submitted by the 31st of December and to then prove to the financial institutions that indeed they've submitted their applications and their bank accounts should not be frozen. You will also recall that normally the application process opens on the 1st of October to the 31st of December. That was the case in 2010, that was the case in 2014, that was the case in 2017. The second issue, which we hope the Director General will re-emphasize on, is the question around traveling. We've been receiving complaints. We recorded a video after we made consultations that people will enjoy the same rights when they travel. No one will be barred from coming into South Africa, but a lot of people are still worried. So we've resubmitted also that for the Director General to confirm in writing, so that we were able also ourselves to say this is in writing, this is what the Director General says. So because a lot of people are saying when they come back, they might have they might be treated as tourist visitors and so forth. There was an audio, a 2 minutes audio that has been circulating on social media saying that if you travel in 2022, you will forfeit your grace period. So we want the Director General to clarify on that question, to say what are the rights of migrants, which also speaks to companies or employers, because some employers have written to their employees to say they must submit proof that they are renewing their permits, failure to which some companies, as we know, are closing on the 15th of December 2021, are saying if you don't submit proof that you have started the process of applying for a permit, you will not renew your permit post in January. So that means you will not be allowed in the premises in your workplace in January. So these are the issues that some of the issues that we have asked the Director General to explain or clarify. The other issue relates to, which again is an administrative issue, relates to teachers, educators. We know that a number of educators are having difficulties in renewing their SAS, South African Council of Educators. It is a requirement that one must have if you are to teach in South Africa. We also asked then the Director General to give clarity on that. Yes, there are other processes, even political processes around that, but on the administrative side, as we said, that in this video, we'll only deal with the administrative side of the around the implementation of this of the cabinet decision. So the Director General, hoping that is going to engage also the Department of Labor and the South African Council of Educators, so that they give clarity in writing on what the holders of ZEP should do who are failing to renew their SAS, so that in January they are in class. This also speaks to the 12 month period, grace period, to saying, does one, if you're an educator, you have to be in class in 2022. So all these things we have submitted for the Director General to give a clarity. Then there's an issue around business people. You will know, which we have said again in the previous video, that if you are running a business, you must have 5 million rands that you bring into the Republic as part of investment. You cannot apply for a business visa inside South Africa and submit the money that you have raised in South Africa or the assets that you have raised in South Africa. We noted that there are business people that are on the ZEP business category that are running companies in South Africa. Some of them, I was talking to some yesterday, we have assets just above 10 million rands. But under the current Immigration Act, they do not qualify because the money was made in South Africa. So we have asked the Director General to give clarity whether within the Immigration Act will the minister consider to waive those so that people do not lose jobs, because if you're a business person, you are employing South Africans, your company then it closes down, people are going to lose jobs. So we hope that the Director General is going to give clarity so that if then those that have assets worth 5 million rands, which they've raised over the years in South Africa, should then be allowed to apply for a business visa. We think, in our view, that the minister can give or can grant that waiver to such business people. So we are waiting for the Director General to advise on that. The other issue which we have asked the Director General to give clarity is the whole question of children born to migrants, children that are now above 16 or 17. You remember there's a court judgment which says children born to migrants who have attained the age of 16 or 17, as South Africans, they have to decide whether they want to be South Africans or they want to assume the citizenship of their parents. So many children who have reached 16, 17 years are currently in limbo because we are being told that the citizens' application is currently closed, and people are finding difficult to make plans for the next year on what children will do, whether they are going to universities, colleges, and so forth. Some are even struggling to get driver's licenses because now they qualify, but they cannot because they do not have the ID. So again, we've asked the Director General to give clarity on that, so that those children born in South Africa who qualify for South African citizenship should be in a position to submit the application. So we'll hear what the Director General is going to say. The other issue relating to this as an administrative issue as well, you will know that if your partner is South African, or your spouse is South African, or is on a permanent visa or permanent residence, you are allowed to apply under them for a spouse or sponsoral permit or visa. But your South African partner or the person that you are applying under, your spouse, should have a minimum of 8,500 rands, if I'm not mistaken. So they have to submit, or you submit their bank statement to prove that they will be taking care of you because you are said to be in the Republic, because you came here for marriage. Other than that, we're not going to come. And then the other thing is that the sponsoral or spouse permit or visa is clearly states that the beneficiary or the holder of such cannot take up employment. So we note that ZEP holders who are already working in South Africa might have married South Africans, or married those that are or permanent residents in South Africa. They already have jobs. So we are asking the Director General to consider whether the minister does have the powers to waive as such, so that if um, say Mr. X is married to Miss Y, and Mr. X is working and Miss Y is not working, if they can waiver that, so that Mr. X can apply for a sponsored visa without providing financial proof of Miss Y, that Miss Y is going to take care of Mr. X. So this is the clarity that we are seeking as an administrative issue, because remember we said in this video we're looking only on the administrative side of the implementation, not the political side. We will deal later on, maybe next week or so, with the political side of the decision of the South African cabinet. Of course, then in the other issue, which I think is the last issue that we raised, is to note that the majority of the ZEP holders do not qualify for any visas. We've checked, we've spent the whole week checking. Comrades have been checking, they've been posting all the categories of visas in our social media platforms. And the analysis that we have reached is that only a few will be able to qualify. The rest will not qualify. That they are not married to South Africans or to anyone who's on PR. They do not have critical skills. They do not qualify under general visa. And these are the majority. Last time we said we'll be surprised if 10,000 or so will qualify. So we've raised this to say, in our view, we do not think that the majority are going to qualify, which we raised an administrative issue, but it is more political, which we'll deal with sometime next week when we deal with the political aspect of the decision of the South African cabinet. So we simply highlighted that because it is clear from the analysis that we have done over this past week that the majority were lost, people of low skill, domestic workers, those in the construction industry, those who are working maybe as drivers or delivery drivers, handymen, and so forth, working in some shops, will not qualify because they do not have the necessary skills as outlined in the categories that we have seen. So we are not sure how the political side is going to deal with that. We do not expect that the DG is going to deal with this one. But of course, with respect to professionals who are working as a ZEP, which also speaks to educators and others, other professionals, and you will know that while they are professionals, which we are raising, is that they do not qualify under critical skills. And you also remember that some educators that had quota permits, when the quota permits were closed down, the minister at the time had to waiver the requirements for them to qualify for the general work visa. So we think that as part of implementing the cabinet decision, the minister, both the Minister of Home Affairs and the Minister of Labour, should consider to waiver some of these requirements so that professionals that are already working, be they teachers, lawyers, and other professionals, accountants, and so forth, who are already having a job in South Africa, and if their companies still want to retain their skills but will not qualify for other visas, should the minister, the two ministers should really waiver this. That's part of the administrative, and it is provided for in the Immigration Act. So it does not require Parliament to go and amend the Act to accommodate these professionals. It's a question of the minister having the will to waiver if companies write to them to say, yes, we still want to get the skills, to retain the skills of these professionals. I see Zanian Ndlovu's writing says also we need clarity on claiming our benefits. That's the UIF Provident Fund. Will they allow us to do it during the grace period, or we need to do it now before payments expire? We think that because at this stage, we are not sure until we get a response from the Department of Home Affairs to say people, those who do not qualify, will not be able to work on the basis that they will not have waived some of the requirements for people to continue working. So my own personal proposal will be maybe we deal with the issues of the UIF Provident Fund and other benefits in 2022 during the 12 month grace period. So I think at this stage, because we're just less than 2 weeks before 16th December, where most companies close, maybe we need to deal with the issues of clarity on how the 12 months grace period is going to be implemented, or what is the meaning of the 12 months grace period, what are the rights to be enjoyed by the holders of ZEP. If, say, as Comrade Zania Ndlovu, it's a scene that you will certainly have by 31st of December 2022, leave South Africa for Zimbabwe. We think that there will be enough time in 2022 to deal with that. But the part of dealing with that is that your bank account should remain active. So if, say, your bank account is closed on the 31st of December 2021, and then you need to receive, say, in 2022, your UIF, your Provident Fund, and other benefits, which they have to deposit into your account. It will be impossible to do so. So this is one of the reasons why bank accounts must be active up until the 31st of December 2022, so that workers who are unable to move to other visas, and assuming there's no political solution in dealing with the holders of ZEP, and some people are asked to leave the republic. It means, therefore, that the bank's account should be active in 2022, so that the people will be able to receive their benefits, which they will need when they start a new life in Zimbabwe. And Comrade Bida, I can't pronounce this name. Let me just read what you have written. You say, please tell us more about the waiver process. The waiver process, as we are saying, it is not yet applicable at the moment. I have seen some circulars or some posters or whatever on social media where other agencies, bogus agencies for that matter, were claiming that they can assist holders of ZEP to be granted a waiver. They are not telling the truth. They just want to eat your money. It is only the office, or it is only the Department of Home Affairs and the Department of Labor we will conclude on the waiver. So we hope that since we have written to the Department of Home Affairs, to the Director General, they will then release new regulations on how people should apply. That should also speak to the waivers to say, like I've saying, you are a mathematics teacher in Eastern Cape. Your qualifications as a maths teacher is not critical skills, but your school in the Eastern Cape still wants you to teach mathematics because there's a shortage of mathematics. So the school should then write to the Department of Labor to say, yes, they need to return your services as a mathematics teacher. Therefore, the requirements that are needed for you to get a visa the department should give you a waiver so that you can apply and be placed or be issued with a general work visa. This is how a waiver works. So for anyone at this point to say, pay us 7,000 rands, pay us 5,000 rands, pay us 350 rands, or whatever amount, who are going to get you a visa, a waiver, they just want to scam you. At the moment, the Department of Labor and the Department of Home Affairs, they have not taken a decision on whether the ministers, as I've said, will indeed grant waivers for those that do not qualify. So if, say, they then stick to what the Immigration Act says, to say you just apply like any normal person who's coming to South Africa and you do not qualify. So there's no one that is going to process to ensure that you get a waiver. Then there's Busisiwela. Pusiswela says, thank you for all your efforts, Mr. McBenna. My question is, what do we do in the meantime while we are still engaging with the teaching? I mean, in terms of getting our papers ready. What we have said, Comrade Swela, is that just visit the website of the VFS and check under which category you qualify. If indeed there's a category where you qualify, please prepare your documents, but do not at the moment make any submission to the VFS because the link to submit is not yet there at the VFS. The Director General is going to communicate with the VFS if there are the process is already started for people to then make their submissions. So at the moment, just be ready with your papers if you qualify. That's what we can say. And then Comrade Marvelous Boga says, if we're starting and a full-time work and you are still at the beginning of the degree, how can you just stop from there? That's a difficult one. You were working and at the same time furthering your studies, and I guess you were on a ZEP work category, but your academic institution did not really press for a study permit. So yeah, we hope maybe there's going to be a solution around that. But you know that those that are starting with UNISA, you do not need a study permit if you are starting with UNISA, because in UNISA, you can start with UNISA even if you are in Bulawayo. You do not have to be in South Africa if you are starting with UNISA. So assuming Comrade Boka, you have to go back to Zimbabwe and you are starting with UNISA, that will not mean your studies will stop, because there are many people who are not in South Africa. You will start with UNISA, but in any case, you can't be granted a study visa if you are starting with UNISA. This is what we were told. And then there's Juliet Mufuga. Comrade Juliet Mufuga says, I have a college. It has all the required accreditations from governing bodies in all respect, and it employs 4 South Africans. I also have a life partner. What is the process to migrate from ZEP? I think this is what Comrade Juliet, I was explaining. I'm not sure if your life partner is South African or is on PR. Assuming is South African or is on PR, you need to apply for a sponsored or sponsor visa. I'm not sure what to say when you say I have a college. It has all the required. Whether here you mean you are the owner of a college, it is not very clear to me what you mean. But you have my WhatsApp number. We can take further this discussion for me to understand and assist at the end of this recording. My WhatsApp number is 083 340 We can assist outside this platform. And Comrade Raka Dubego says, what about business visa? I've spoken about the business visa. If you just joined now the YouTube, I think you will have to replay. It is going to be available. Remember to subscribe and get the explanation of what I've said. And then Motivational Plus TV says, can we not use just a sec, says, can we not use the normal link for applying for normal payments? I've said that the department is yet to provide the link, because you are not using the normal link. If you are a ZEP holder, the Department of Home Affairs is going to engage the VFS, or they are engaging at the moment. Once that engagement is finalized on how the ZEP holders are going to apply, we are going to be notified. So please just hold on to submitting, otherwise they are going to make mistakes. So thank you, comrades, so much for your time, and I hope if you just joined, you will get more what we said earlier on. Please like the video, circulate, subscribe. I am Ngabuto Nicholas Mapena, Chairman of the Zimbabwe Community in South Africa, and executive member of the African Diaspora Forum. As I was signing off, then Comrade Musara, you are saying, can truck drivers by any chance get a waiver visa? The truck drivers is a separate matter altogether, because remember, the Minister of Transport, the Minister of Labor, the Minister of Home Affairs, they've been working or they are coming up with a new proposal on how to deal with the truck or the freight industry. Remember the violence, banning of trucks and so forth. So the Department of Labor is working on that. So thank you so much, comrades. Bye-bye.